What is up? This is the Keyholing podcast. With me today, I have a 3D printed gun legend. He might not call himself that, but I will. We have StayFree3DP today for a wonderful Christmas episode. The Santa Hat Avi profile pic himself. How's it going, man?
Hey. Glad to be on the show.
Awesome. So glad to have you on. First,
Merry Christmas.
Yes, Merry Christmas to everybody. Merry Christmas. We've had a great year in 3D printed guns. So we're going to do some setting on Santa's lap and talk about it. First, to get into it, so this is the most recent, like the XD. You've got the pic pulled up for us, right?
Yeah.
So there was an XD failure. So the dread, like every 3D printed gun owner dreads this moment. And like, just walk me through how you processed it and like what you were thinking as this exploded. And see, okay, if you're listening, it didn't explode. It separated here. Like it looks like a pretty clean break. So like you're before we get into it, you're okay, right? Like your hand's fine.
Absolutely. Yeah, no casualties of anything except the gun.
Well, there you go. So walk us through your feelings and like what happened, like what you were thinking as this ejected itself.
Well, as we all do, we take our 3D printed guns into the range and, we're proud of it. We're showing people. This one's extra, goofy for me because I did it for Halloween, sort of candy corn themed and, try to troll as many of the Noggers and cider people as I could when they started posting. But so anyways, I go into the range, talking up the RSO. He's telling me his kid just got a 3D printer, the whole like stereotypical story. I turn around and take two shots, and on the second shot, the slide yeeted forward. And of course, like in that moment, it's like you don't know what happened. All of a sudden, like I didn't have any weight in my hand, and I knew something was wrong, but I didn't quite process. And then, of course, everybody in the place just started dying laughing.
Oh, of course.
That like momentary what? Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, you're not ready. You're never like ready for that, but then it happens and you're like, oh man, just got to take it in stride.
Yeah, it's the first time that's ever happened to me. I mean, I've certainly had things crack before and, not function before in front of people, but the complete rapid disassembly was classic. And of course, we're always taping stuff, and nobody was taping at the time.
That clip would have gone platinum on Twitter, man. That would have gone.
Yeah, I still can't get the. We've been trying to get the security footage, but they're a business, and they're whatever guy, kind of thing. So
yeah, no, exactly. Like, and it's like. You totally get it, like, from their perspective, it's like, stop being annoying. But at the same time, it'd be so funny to have.
It would be.
It'd be so funny to have. Talking about funny, you have one of the funniest problems I've heard of recently. So you've got your planter, right? Like, you've got your hydroponic. So for those that don't know, he's been working on 3D printing, like, a little hydroponic setup. But you found out it grew, yes, absolutely. It grew into a
giant.
For those that are viewing it, like, take a look. It looks incredible. And like, what all did you say you've got off of it? You've got a ton of like fruit and stuff from it.
Well, let's see. We kind of started out like the intention was sort of like leafy green vegetables, and then of course I just kept stacking and stacking. It's modular, right? So I kept stacking it, and it ended up, we've got some tomatoes there and some, we tried peas. We got some cucumbers that are working out really well. Lots of cilantro, different varieties of lettuce, you name it.
Well, and
I should have turned it around because the side closer to the window there has like a lot more.
Oh yeah.
I think I got a picture of like a bunch of the leafy greens on the other side there.
It's so awesome. That's so sick. And and so the funny part comes in is you mentioned peas don't have the same setup. So
Right.
tell the people what happened with your pea situation.
Well, the peas grew like crazy in the hydro, like in the system, but they didn't stay alive. They would like grow and get brown at the same time. Like I think just like the water chemistry is off for peas versus everything else that's in there, right? Um, but the thing about these peas is my wife ordered a pack of peas from Amazon, and instead of a $3 pack of seeds, we got a case of 100 packs of seeds. So I don't even know what to do with these things. I figured, oh, we'll throw some in there and see what happens. It didn't work out, but like I'm still kind of on the search of maybe a snow pea farmer career or something. We got one. It came out with one pea before I like finally this is enough.
Yeah,
So
no, definitely. And everyone leave a comment what you would do with a case of snow peas, what you recommend. You need some
I
ideas, I think.
I would imagine you could plant like several acres, like a few acres. It's a big, huge box of peas.
That is so awesome. That is so awesome. And it happens, right? But that is such a
Yeah.
funny mishap. And go follow him at StayFree3DP. Uh, he posts a ton of 3D printed gun stuff, and maybe you'll see what he ends up doing with the peas. Um,
My wife wants me to put more the hydroponic printed stuff on there, so I'll try. I'll try
There
to
you
stay updated.
go. Absolutely. And it's so interesting talking about 3D printing things other than guns. A lot of people in the community solely print guns, and that's fine. Like, that's totally cool if that's what you want to do. But
I
I
think
think
they claim they do.
they claim they do. They claim
Yeah.
they do. But there's so many other things you can print. We're at Christmas time. One of your things I remember seeing the the ripstick helicopters.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
super fun for kids. Really interesting. I did Easter eggs. I 3D printed Easter eggs, like little dragon's egg ones,
Yeah,
and
cool.
did those. Super fun. Kiddos love that kind of stuff. They love
That's
3D
right.
printed stuff. And those things, the helicopters go so high. By the way, like
Yeah, they rip.
however high you think, they go higher.
Yeah, I bet you. Like even with like the kids I gave them to were probably 3, 4, 5 years old, and just their little teeny muscles, right? Probably 30 feet in the air, at least 40 feet in the air.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
it's crazy. It's crazy. And one thing you do with your son's really interested in fishing, so you've printed some working on some swim baits. I've seen that you've posted.
yeah.
Um,
So
Go ahead.
I've kind of tried to push that down to him as much as possible. I've let him use my printer, of course, and showed him how to like slice software and a little bit of CAD. Um, he's had some exposure to it in school too. They do a little bit of high school tech classes these days too. So you know,
Yeah,
um,
which is awesome, and I love that. Like
yeah,
getting kids involved because it doesn't only teach them like engineering and like technical skills, but like problem solving skills,
right, yeah.
boost creativity. It gives them a tool for something to know that.
People out there actually have to do things,
Yeah,
and you can
no,
do them too.
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly. It's so fun, and it gives them like a sense of accomplishment too. Seeing this thing that comes out at the end. Hey, I put that in the computer, and then
yeah.
the printer spit it out, and so very very cool to like involve them in like what in like is it just father son bonding time? Do you kind of just see those traits and want to like give him more exposure to them? Like what really pushes you to kind of give that responsibility to him and like help him grow?
Well, I'm I'm one of those parents that doesn't like have a whole lot of rules. I'm fairly, I would say libertarian, little L libertarian, leaning.
Hmm.
Um, but like my one rule is like do cool shit, right? Don't just sit around and play on your phone. Don't just you know go to school every day. Like do find things that you like and do them. Don't sit around and like, oh, I wish I could, make my own swim bait. You can just, you can do things.
No,
So,
definitely.
so I try to encourage that as much as possible. I've been a DIY guy. Like I've always loved technical aspects and, creativity and science behind things. So, I mean, I try to DIY everything. I got really big into home brewing as a hobby many, many, many years ago, to the point where I became a craft brewer for the better part of 12 years.
Oh,
Uh,
that's awesome.
I won't try to cross the two worlds too much because sometimes they're not very compatible, but politics wise anyway. But
Yeah.
it was I was a pretty successful craft brewer at a very, very large top 30 brewery in America. So that's how my hobbies play out for me. Sometimes you can do things.
No, definitely. And I love that. Just pushing them toward like something, right? Like
Yeah,
my thing is always, you don't have to, with my niece and nephews, like you don't have to do a specific thing that I want you to do, but just what you like, go do it, right? Like
yeah,
you have the ability, you are smart enough, you have the resources, go do it, right? Like go make things. And I feel so often people try and put these boxes around kids, and by actually like pushing them toward their passions, I feel like that actually is more fruitful, produces more good results.
yeah, absolutely. The feel like our education system has gotten sort of really narrowed down to sort of lowest common denominator type stuff. Like we teach them math and science and history, as much as we can fit into a few years. But like a lot of the, shop classes aren't like super emphasized. I mean, even most places like music programs are, dwindling away.
Hmm.
Not as many kids are playing sports, like all this stuff that like, they're concentrating on such a small area of what everything else in life is about, right?
No, definitely. And we see
So
kind of the impact of that in like
yeah,
3D printed guns with some of the younger kids who maybe don't have the social skills or maybe haven't spent time in
that's right.
in a community and like understand uh like as far as interacting and things of that nature. And so you're right, like the sports is so important, like just getting involved in anything. And like I think you're somewhat older than me as well, but even in my time, we didn't have like the vocational schools as much.
Right.
Now welding super big. There's tons of stuff you can do. You
Yeah.
mentioned your son having tech classes in school, so being exposed to 3D printers.
Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty cool. The STEM has done a little bit, which has been nice, but it's still very basic with the amount of time that they have, right? Like they get exposed to like Tinkercad and,
Hmm.
Creality Slicer, software program, something like that. So they print a trinket. Like one of the kids, of course, they tried to print Glock keychains over there at the high school this year. Got in trouble for it.
Of course.
Not my son, but some other kid. It was some big to do. You can't print, can't talk about guns over at the school, not even on keychain.
Which I had a discussion with this, like it just saying not don't talk or don't think about something doesn't work.
Right.
It doesn't work
Yeah.
for sex. It doesn't work for drugs or alcohol. It doesn't
Yeah.
work for guns. When you say don't talk about this or
Do
pretend,
not look in that box.
yeah, kids literally want to. That
Yeah.
makes them want to do it.
Yeah. People. I mean, that's the
People
American
know
way.
for
I mean,
sure.
that's very much, part of our American culture is like, oh, you can't do that thing. Well, why not? What's a good reason that I can't do that thing?
No,
Well,
definitely.
if there isn't one, and this is America, then I should be able to kind of do what I want, and that's very much. Don't tell us what we can do. Don't tell us what we can have. You know,
No, definitely. And it's like, well, this isn't the point of the episode, but like safety wise, kids learning about guns and how they function would dramatically reduce accidents. Dramatically.
right. And I think dramatically reduce things that happen on purpose too.
No,
You know,
definitely.
when kids at a very young age, when they fire a gun, it's very eye opening because even a 22 is like, oh wow, that can, like, a bullet can go through a lot of things,
No, definitely.
and they're destructive. I don't want that pointed at me, you know.
Yeah, no, exactly. And even like people that don't want to be around guns or don't necessarily like them, or kids that don't like them at the time,
Yeah,
there's no harm in learning how to make it safe. Like
that's right.
there's nothing negative about that. But that's
Knowledge
what
is power, kids.
exactly, and that is why we're here. Talking about knowledge, you are one of the older people in the 3D printing community, one of the seniors, one of the elders.
I'm a senior.
You're also one of the first 3D printed gun competition competitor. Like people that have gone to a competition. There's the classic picture of you with the Team Spoot RK shirt. What kind of have you always like competed? Like, is that something you've always like been interested in?
Nah, I have been in, let's see, 4 competitions now. They've all been gun maker match.
Oh, that's awesome though.
I do my training LARPing weekends though. I mean, kids, I do go to defensive gun classes and carbine classes and stuff like that. So, you know,
That's
no,
awesome though.
but yeah, I mean, I heard about it like a lot of people, from like the Vice thing, the YouTube videos, and being in the community, right? I wish the people that ran Gun Makers Match knew how to market it a little bit better because it really is an awesome event, and I wish a lot more people did go. Um, you know, the first couple years, of course, people in our community are a little untrusting, I
Hmm.
guess, of where it's all people on the internet and you're meeting up the first time, sight unseen. You don't know who the person behind the avatar is, right? And for a lot of us, anonymity is important, right? So, but it's a great time. I encourage you, if you want to come out and hang out with like-minded people, come do it. I didn't make it to the first one. I made it through the second one and everyone since. So
That's awesome. That's awesome. And so,
hopefully this year too.
for those that don't know, the Gunmakers Match essentially is all 3D printed guns, right? All or guns made
They
at
have to be
home.
made yourself. So
Yes.
you can. I've ran my Polymer 80 my first handgun that I ever owned. I built myself as a Polymer 80 that I got from Jordan over there at JSD Supply back when he very first started selling them in the gun shows. And so I've ran that. I've run that a couple times. I ran my full size XD 45. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of people run aluminum milled 80s in the rifle division. I mean, and as long as you made it yourself, it doesn't matter if it's squirted or milled or carved out of wood, whatever.
And one of the things I encourage people to do when you go to these things is just hold and touch other cool guns.
Yeah,
That was one of
finger
my
everything.
yes, finger everything. That was one of my favorite parts of AK Masters
Yeah,
last year. Just touching all the guns people had. So fun seeing what people bring, the silly guns people have and find interesting.
yeah,
It is so rewarding, and we talked about community earlier. That's really how you build that. And I understand, like you mentioned, people being paranoid, right? Like I understand it. But at the
yeah,
end of the day, like a lot of people, most of the people that go to these things are super cool. They're going to be friendly. They're going to be chill. They're going to
yeah.
want to show you their guns. They want you to finger their guns.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we especially, we want to show them off. I made this, right? Like, how cool is this? It's a one of one. No matter if it's a Glock frame that 100 other people have printed, the one that you made for yourself is one of one, right? So, you know, it's special. People like to share it, and I like to tell people that no matter how cringy people are on the internet, you get everybody together to have an event like that. I have never had an issue with anyone that I didn't like online, right? Some people I kind of had, there's people online that are antagonistic, right? A
No,
little bit.
definitely.
Some people aren't the nicest, but like in person, man, everybody works together. Uh, shares, touches each other's guns. Eats, drinks, and it's a great time. So
No, definitely. And
uh,
it's so
meet people in real life. Real life is real life.
it is real life, and all this online shit is fake. Like a lot of people, and not just like, I mean, I do
For
this
sure.
too. It's funny, and I know you play into it too, like a character, like a bit. It's kind of like online's kind of like wrestling a little bit.
Yeah.
You play up the heel. You kind of play to the crowd, and that is. But when you're in person, it is so different. There's something intimate about breaking bread and uh, fingering guns together. It really
Yeah.
is so. It just feels awesome. If anyone hasn't
Yeah.
done it, I recommend you do it. And you don't have to make it to one of these things. There's chances are that if you live in a free state, chances are that there's people around you printing guns.
Yeah.
I live in like a flyover state, and we're trying to get a gun, 3D printed gun day together, about 5 or 6 guys. You arrange your
Yeah.
own thing, make your own stuff. There's people around you that are doing it. I'm sure of it. Uh,
There's definitely gun people doing it. So find those people, and they'll love your 3D printed guns too.
They will, absolutely. And that's something else. You
Yeah.
mentioned the, like, just talking to the RSO and talking to people at ranges, like that is the most rewarding thing to me almost, is interacting with people who've never shot a 3D printed gun before.
Yeah.
And then they're like, "Whoa, no, this shoots like actual bullets, like this works." And it's like,
Right.
"Yeah, here, shoot it, try it. Like, please try it."
Didn't
And
blow up in my hand
no, exactly, exactly.
this
And
time.
they quickly become amazed, and you
Yeah.
explain to them the process of doing it, and it is so rewarding to see that smile, that click, and
Yeah.
just to spread the signal. Spreading the signal feels awesome.
Yeah. There's a so as an old, I guess, and when we first started getting into like 3D printed guns, and I'm not like an elder. I want to be very clear. I'm like, but like I'm like maybe the second generation of elder. Like I was in key base. If you know what that means, you know what that means, right? Like I was in the key base, but it shut down maybe a few months after I kind of started getting into this. So I'm not like Ivan old, or Control Pew old. Like I'm sure I'm older than them age wise, but
Yeah.
at least like in 3D printing guns and stuff. I started like end of 2019. You know,
So, like, right before
bought
the
my printer.
pandemic, essentially, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was kind of talking to my friend, and I was like, because I like weird things, technology things, gadgets, and I was like, I think I'm gonna get one. I mean, I didn't even know what I was gonna print. I just knew it could do stuff. And he had already had a printer, and he was like, "Look at this," and it's a Glock 17, Gen 1, Gen 1 Glock 17 frame with the little screw in rear rails and stuff. And I was like you could put a slide on that and actually fire a belt. And he's like, "Oh yeah." I'm like, "Okay, I'm sold." And, and then the pandemic happened. We had time on our hands, right? Everybody was, it was the golden age of 3D printed design and development, right?
Absolutely. And it grew so much at the time. Like, going back and looking on it, did you expect it to grow so fast? Like, was it something you saw as this is going to explode? Because really, you did hit it right before it blew up.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't think it would get. I didn't think the quality of 3D printed guns would get as far as it did, as fast as it did, right? Um, there's a big thing holding us back. We still all talk about it, and that's materials, right? PLA Plus is great, sorta,
Hmm.
unless it's too hot where you live, or unless it's too cold where you live, or
Yeah.
it has its limitations, right? You can't get too hot shooting too fast because your barrel shrouder melt, this kind of thing. So the materials, being able to print like carbon fiber nylon and PET and now we're getting PPS and all kinds of stuff that's like I, even a PLA Glock frame I can snap it right, but
Hmm.
like I can't do that with a nylon frame. It's the layer adhesion's great. It's hard as a rock. So I didn't think we'd like be able to start printing really serviceable weapons this fast. I guess maybe.
No, definitely. It did transition so fast from these are toys, and they still are like toys
Yeah,
and fun, and
they're range toys for the most part. Yeah.
yeah, printing in a bunch of different colors, and that is what
Right.
they serve, the function they serve, spreading the signal right. But you're totally right about nylon, and something you've done too is writ dyeing them. You've come up with some
Yeah.
crazy color combinations. It looks super sick. What kind of like is it that same like DIY kind of thing? You were just like, I want to do this, I want to try this, or what?
Yeah. Well, I have a love of OD green,
Oh, okay.
so I'm always on the search of how I can make this OD green. Um, I grew up. I was never a military member, but all of my uncles and cousins and like everyone in my family was. So, I was always like my uncles would give me their hats and shirts and buy me camo stuff all the time. And so like I just kind of grew up in all OD green kind of all the time, pretty much. So it's stuck with me. I like green. Um, and it's more expensive than everything else. If you want to buy a gun on sale, you can have it in black or FDE. If you would like to pay full price plus the premium, you can have the OD green. So
And we're not talking about a few bucks. Like sometimes it's into the hundreds of
20%,
yeah.
30%. Yeah,
Like
yeah,
it's actually kind of ridiculous, and it's so fun. Like you mentioned, having these
yeah,
materials that are essentially like I don't want to say like equivalent, but it's like on par to injection molded stuff. Like
yeah,
it's so strong. I don't think people realize it. Rice cut it last year at AK Masters, and we got some people running it this year as well.
yeah.
Ran up his plastic off he designed. Frost Boss ran a plastic off,
Right.
and think of it as like an AK. Like people think
Yeah.
AK, rusty, metal, Khyber Pass,
Yeah,
Eastern Europe.
that receiver. I mean, even the printed stuff. It takes some force.
No,
You know.
definitely, and it like admittedly the PLA will shift and move around a little bit. The nylon is it's
It's
you
really
can't.
indestructible.
It seriously is like if you've never held something nylon in hand, like maybe go try and find it. Maybe like your library maybe has a nylon printer or something. I don't know. Maybe your school or something of that nature if you don't have one. But it is seriously so cool to feel and to realize you made this thing that essentially is indestructible. Like you can try and break it, rip it apart, tear it. You can't.
Yep. Can't.
So
So
what now we've kind of like talked about like kind of like a few like experiences with 3D printed guns. What's next on your project list? I know you're always scouting stuff out. What you're going to make next? What's going to go on the printer? What are you thinking?
well, I have been messing around with some PET filaments. It kind of came out. I don't know who came out with it first, really, but the PET carbon fiber came out. Soraya Tech had some. Polymaker had some. It's great. It's got really, high temperature deflection and all that. Uh, the problem is I kept having with the carbon fiber some layer adhesion. Like you stuff would just break. It would just be a little bit too brittle. NPR Tech, I tease him on X a lot because he's completely sold. He's like I'm gonna have to talk to him a little bit more about how he prints it, but the carbon fiber always gave me problems. And then they came out with the glass fiber stuff, which has incredible layer adhesion. Like on par with nylon for me. So I've been working on a lot of that stuff. So And the nice thing about the glass fiber stuff, it doesn't have to be either black or black. You can actually have some colors. So Polymaker's got some colors in the glass fiber.
A very
So
good red and blue they have.
yeah, the red looks so sharp.
It looks great, and we've actually got 3D printed gun. The 3D printed gun general, his colors over there in the FTE. But Sean Aranda done a ton of 3D printed gun stuff. Great ambassador, and he actually works for Polymaker, which is awesome.
Does he have his color in the PET now?
I don't think so yet, but he's always working on stuff and posting. So if anyone's interested in filament, go buy Polymaker, follow him. I can't recommend it enough. I've never had any problems with Polymaker ever.
They've done really great by our community too. I mean, as far as interaction and support, and they do have release stuff with us in mind. So, they've even like the dark purple that they have was from the gun community. They wouldn't let us call it Russian plum, but that was sort of, a few guys were bullying Polymaker online, and I joined in, and then they gave us, the plum. So, a lot of my guns, like if you've seen them, are the OD green and Russian dark purple color.
Oh, the dark purple's so good. I've got a roll upstairs, actually.
It's so beautiful.
It's so good. And cold white as well. Fallen Icarus, Dark Scarecrow, he would only print cold white, and that was only in another brand. And he said, I will only buy Polymaker if you come out with cold white. So they got it for him. And he's been a Polymaker printer since. So it's super cool. They listen to feedback. They're great. Can't recommend enough. We'll put them on the nice list, kind of transitioning.
Put them on the nice list,
to the naughty and nice list. For the first on the nice list, we'll go Polymaker. It's great. Second, we will go gun devs. I've been so proud of how much development's been done this year, how far guns continue to progress. It's actually crazy. A big thing this year, the super safeties, the making gun go fast.
Goodness gracious.
It is it's such human nature to see thing and make it go fast in the caveman brain. Need to go fast. And turn it up. Yes, turn it up. And it has really expanded as far as I see, like the base of 3D printing, and there's some discussion to be had as far as if someone's only making this, is it really progressing the community? I think it is, because people are seeing the capabilities of it, right? Yeah. What are your thoughts on like the whole super safety FRT renaissance going on?
Well, I mean, I think it's part of, like what we were talking about before, the American way is, we want to do these things, and then, the government says, well, no, you can't. We'll make a law about it, and then we'll decide, but we can do it this way and still technically be part of the law, right? So we're Americans are always pushing boundaries on technology and freedom, and the FRT is a classic example of that. We'll never say that a FRT is full auto, because it's not in the very scientific sense of the word, but we don't like them because they're slow, right?
Yeah.
And we can use these things to, much like 3D printing, kind of proliferate them throughout the community. And then when somebody says, hey, wait, these should be illegal too, we can say, well, why? Everybody has them, and we're still okay.
Yeah, right? And it costs us 30 cents to print another one. Right.
And now there's we've definitely in the 3D printing community achieved what one of the goals was, and that's for all intents and purposes, gun control is completely dead. There's nothing that they can tell you that you can't do that you can just do anyway. and this isn't legal advice by any stretch of the imagination, but it does kind of highlight how ineffective and impotent those types of prohibitionary type laws can be, especially in America, where we do have freedom and knowledge and resources.
Definitely. And something I want to touch on too, as far as like, I like looking at outside perspectives as far as the prohibition laws go, like looking at Australia. They
Yeah,
recently wrote a story a couple months, I say recently, it was a few months ago, and talking about how they've lost the war on gun control, essentially largely
sure.
due to 3D printed guns. And when academics and legal, like lawyers,
Politicians, even.
judges, politicians, cops are admitting this, like it essentially is lost. And that doesn't mean
Right.
stop working on it. We have to crush it. We want to step on the
Yeah,
throat, right? Sweep the leg.
that's right.
But it really is like from a like overall perspective done.
Yeah,
It really has progressed to the point where there's nautic Glocks being recovered everywhere. There's harlots that have been recovered on basically every continent.
right. Yeah.
There was a guy that snuck a printer into a South American jail and printed and partially cast metal and partially printed FTC9. The human spirit will not be denied.
Yeah, that's right.
It's so
Things
cool. Go ahead.
things that go bang are the best.
Absolutely. And but there is this weird overreactionary where in Australia, for example, we talked about the schools being kind of limited and even teachers being limited in what they can share and give to students. One teacher in Australia printed, the little disc shooters, they're on
Right.
Thingiverse. He printed one and brought it to school, and they literally arrested him, seized his computer.
You shoot your eye out with that.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's like that is the level the enemies
Yeah.
of the gun proliferation movement are at. Is they are so terrified they are arresting 100% educational, like just content that is completely like
Yeah.
it's the shape of a gun. It appears to be a gun.
Hmm.
They're trying to regulate files
You
of
make gun fingers.
yeah, yeah. No posting finger guns. No, no. The British government's going to shut us down.
That's right.
No, no. But it actually is just hilarious to the point of that's what they're reaching for, and that should show you how desperate they are. Desperation's a stinky cologne,
It
and
is.
everyone 3D printing guns should smell it, and that should activate your killer instinct.
That's right.
Keep pushing it. Keep spreading it. Keep spreading. And next on the nice list, we're gonna go signal spreaders. We talked how cool it
Yeah.
is in the beginning. I mean, shoot, you got into it from someone spreading the signal.
Absolutely.
I got into it. Yeezy got me into it. I was like, I saw it and I was like, I hit him up and was like, "Yo, this is really cool. Like,
Yeah.
how do you do it?" And we talked about it. He helped me get set up with a printer, and it really is that simple. As far as everyone that started had someone that helped them get started.
Yeah. What printer did you get?
The Ender 3. I went with the
Hell
Ender
yeah.
3. So this was a few years ago, but I mean, still, like, it is still trudging along. It's trudging very slowly.
There's mine. I can't point on. There it is.
Oh, yep.
See
You can
there by
see.
my can't stop the signal sign way back in the
Yep.
back. She's still alive.
And a lot of people shit on Enders.
That one's running though, if that'll tell you anything.
Yes, it does. And they are hard, but it is. I've talked about this in other episodes. It's a great way to learn a printer if you haven't. Like, don't
Yeah.
know anything about a printer. If you want to tinker and mess around with it, it's great to learn how a printer works and what parts do.
Well, I tell people the most important thing for most people is the support community behind it. The great thing about Ender 3 series was a billion people had them. People were writing great firmware. People were updating things. It went all the way to Clipper and, et cetera, et cetera. I mean, My Ender 3 was making some really high quality prints for a long time.
Oh,
You know,
absolutely.
it didn't start out that way. I mean, it's kind of rough. Of course, we're learning, and that those first versions of Marlin were serviceable but questionable, right? A
Yeah,
bunch of features came out. Marlin was great. We had all these things, and um, the bamboo labs are like that now, right? Not just that they're 10 times better of a printer, but the online community is also, everybody has them. When something breaks, somebody's had that problem before. We've got, you know, the companies trying to, close source their firmware and stuff a little bit. We've got people working on open sourcing it, that's like, and it's going to happen.
yeah, definitely. Orca
That's not
Slicer.
going to happen with a Form Labs or you know, even Creality. It's not going to happen with any of the new Creality machines really to that extent either, because people want the best, and bamboo is king right now.
Definitely.
So
And it is a situation where even if, and I talked about this actually last episode with Shitnator and Gummy, even if you have a bamboo, you can still, like, the SD card is capable. You can walk it in there if you're paranoid,
yeah,
understandably, about cloud printing. And, but I don't think enough you can stress the Ender 3, if you are committed to it and locked in, you can get some great prints out of it.
wonderful, wonderful
There
print.
are guns that have come out and totaling, like, if we're talking about totaling altogether, into the hundreds of thousands of rounds on guns that were in
Oh, millions probably.
millions, probably, honestly,
Yeah,
yes, that were from an Ender 3.
yeah,
And so if you, I don't want people to convince themselves, oh, I can't do it, or I can't learn it. Kind of like you talked about with, like, kids. You have the capability. I'm not very technologically
yeah,
savvy. I'm not a great builder. It isn't super hard to. There's so, you mentioned resources. There's so many videos on YouTube from
yeah.
Ender 3 stuff. So many
I
helpful
I
videos.
hate coding. Like, I can't do the coding. Like, I can copy it off of somebody else,
Oh yeah,
but yeah, the whole the firmware stuff,
yeah.
and the Clipper is kind of my, not a huge fan of Clipper, just because it is so much more. It's better if you know what you're doing. It's by far a better environment, right? But
Hmm.
like, if you're not into all that, it can be 10 times more frustrating. So,
Oh, definitely. And like
but I can
that's
do it, and I'm an idiot. I
yeah.
did do it.
And that's kind of my limit as well. Downloading Johnny's firmware, like that was like, I'm like, okay, I this is
Yep.
pretty much my technological limit. And now that bar's been even lowered more by the bamboo, right? The bamboo,
Yeah.
like, you can legitimately order it from Amazon and be printing that afternoon. Like,
Yeah.
that level of accessibility. And I think that accessibility is so important as the proliferation of the signal increases,
Yep.
as far as people realizing it's accessible and fast. People don't always have the time to
Yeah.
mess with an ender. People don't want to. I don't blame you, at all. Uh, and it really is. I honestly, the first time seeing a bamboo print, was shocked at how fast it actually is.
Yeah. Crazy.
Once you're used to ender speed, it's absurd, because I still print slow. I do 40, because it's like, that's where it's just locked in at for me. Low and slow. That's what we started with,
Yeah,
right?
that's right.
And so, or high and slow, but it really is pushing buttons. We're talking about pushing a few buttons in an
Yeah.
SD card.
Yeah. Clicking on your, cloud based slicer and hitting the go button. Right.
Definitely. And
Yeah.
it's time for a naughty list. You know who's on the naughty list? Flash Forge.
Oh man, Flash Forge is on the naughty list, but I don't think they're going to be around much longer to be on the naughty list.
No, they aren't. We're naughty list banishing them, burying them in
Yeah.
coal. Uh, and that response is so important. I think a lot of it people hopped on because just bullying companies is fun, which, don't get me wrong. I
Yeah.
love a good company bullying. But the immediate the immediate submission to the police state, like some of these companies do,
Right.
needs to be shamed, and it
Yeah.
needs to be bullied as far as, well, the government said you're not supposed to do that. And it's
Right.
like, well, and you talked
Yeah.
about the American attitude. Fuck you, no.
A politician wrote me a nasty letter.
Yeah, a politician that has no jurisdiction, by the way, even though the
Right.
NYPD is like the second largest army basically in the world or some shit.
Yeah.
Like it's everywhere. But at the same time, like, fuck off. It's when these companies capitulate to these like demands,
Yeah.
it is so important that they be shamed, and that the response was great. Like what did like everyone kind of got in. Like what did you think of that general response
I
as a
mean,
whole?
I knew that was going to be coming from our people. What surprised me, I maybe not surprised me, but the part of it that you didn't see was all of the rest of the 3D printing community, at least in America, had the same response. It wasn't just the gun people. It was, hey, wait a minute. Uh, I do what I want in my own home with the machine that I purchased. So, you don't need to tell me, oh, I'm going to report you if you do. No, you're not going to spy on me and, call the cops on me. Right.
No,
Tell me what I can print on your machine, get lost. I bought it, so it's mine, not yours anymore.
I'm glad you bring that up. The nerds really rallied around it. A lot of the,
Yeah.
and I do see that our mutual trash. He makes a bunch of masks, and some people brought that up.
Yeah.
What's the next thing to say? Oh, this Spider-Man mask,
Right.
we're gonna actually copyright that and take that. Like,
Yeah.
there's a story of the kid who they didn't let him have Spider-Man on his grave because his dad wanted to put it on, and they didn't let him because it was gonna be a copyright issue. So
Yeah. Ridiculous.
that's what they want, and it really was great point. It really was nice seeing that. Not really
Yeah.
surprised, like you said, but pleased, happily, like kind of like, oh, that's awesome. It really makes you feel part of the 3D printed community as a whole.
Yeah.
And we have worn down, I say we colloquially, like everyone, has worn down I remember much more sentiment around the regular 3D printing people as far as, oh, the gun guys are different. They're
Yeah.
different.
We are
They're,
different.
we are, but they're over there. They're separate. And it really has
Yeah.
become more of a unit as far as more part of general 3D printing, as far as some like regular quote unquote people that don't print guns come to people that print guns and say, hey, like what settings do you use? Uh,
Yeah.
what filament do you find works best with this, and things of that
You want
nature.
to know how to print the strongest? You ask the gun guys.
Absolutely, absolutely. And so there's almost this kind of like meshing of the cosplay nerd type
Yeah.
community and guns, and also it has this the props are huge. People love the Halo props.
Right.
Any prop from any gun, I've seen a lot of cool oh, excuse me, a lot of cool Fallout stuff people have made. It is so they do the big Fallout thing in
Yeah.
Vegas. It's so fun seeing that kind of grow together in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think, again, it's sort of one of those things that, like, you know, the media, the politician, the societies these days want people to be anti-gun, right?
Hmm.
That's the message that they're getting. And then, when they start actually interacting with those crazy gun nut people that are making guns that blow your hand off, they, oh, wait, they're actually not so bad. They're helping me out. I'm not getting any creepy vibes off these people. So maybe it's not so bad. Maybe I should try to print a gun,
Yeah,
you know?
no, and that's one of the things to me that's so important is showing people not only how easy it is, but how safe it is. Like you had the
Yeah.
malfunction and you're totally fine. Uh, Pimby has malfunctions
Yeah.
all the time. If you don't follow Pimby, everyone go follow Pimby.
Yeah.
He has malfunctions all the time, working on crazy stuff. He only hurt himself one time because he loaded it. He loaded it super hot. He loaded it way too hot.
Yeah.
But you really don't like it is so safe, and these people seeing it safe, we're relatively normal. It does such a good job, you're right, of like easing their concerns and saying like, oh, these are
Yep.
people too, like they're just normal people, and kind of separating that politician's message of keep everyone separate, like
Right.
don't talk to each other, like
Yeah.
there is this sentiment of you stay in your house, you go to work, you don't talk to your neighbor, you don't talk to
That's right.
people online, and breaking those chains and saying, hey, I'm gonna build a community, I'm gonna interact with people, I'm going to spread the signal. All of that pushes against their whole goal, and you're right, so important. Another one on the naughty list is we're gonna go journalists. I hate to say it. There's actually some journalists I really like, but journalists have been really bad this year, and it's in a few aspects. There's this weird slop reproduction system as far as in-gun journalism, as far as things getting. I've seen articles published, quote unquote, in the past few days talking about
Yeah.
Biden's gun restrictions, and it's like, okay, come on now. Like it's been like a year
Yeah.
basically. Like update your bot a little bit, and
Right.
also like these mainstream media journalists that are this turns a gun into atomic, and then they're gonna
Yeah.
go shoot everyone.
It's invisible to
It's
the naked eye.
invisible. It can go through the metal detector.
Yes. It's untraceable.
It's untraceable, and we could spend the whole like day talking about like why untraceable's bullshit, but
I love it.
they're really buying into these like other like popular media narratives like movies and things like that where a
Right.
silencer turns a gun completely like you can't even hear the action. It's so
Yeah.
silent.
Click.
Yep, click, that's it. If that sometimes it's just they show it on screen and it's just
Yep.
a breath of air and it's not that. And like the demonization of guns as a whole. And I actually, I'm gonna put out some photos that are very interesting here soon. I've got I went to a estate sale recently, and I've got an American rifleman in a gun world from 1968, and it's so cool. Like the anti-gun ads are exactly the same. They show like a zombie-like guy with a gun, and it's like he's gonna kill. Like, do you want this guy to be able to kill you? And it really hasn't gone that far from that. Like that's legitimately what
Right.
some media push. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, and back then it was handguns too a lot too, right? Like, oh, he might have a gun in his jacket. You'll never know.
Absolutely, word
Yeah.
for word, absolutely. And meanwhile, we've got the BLC people with harlots that you could keister if you wanted to.
Look, we don't want to give anybody in this community those ideas, okay?
We don't, but the BD-22 is almost perfect for
That's
it.
right. Oh, they've got the one that's shaped like a butt plug too now. So
Oh yeah, absolutely. And another naughty list, kind of with the journalist, and I don't want to take some responsibility away from the journalist, but this is the number one naughty list. Number one on the naughty list, cops. As far as spreading that 3D printed guns are untraceable, you're
Yeah.
gonna get. That's who journalists are always interviewing. They have a cop come on and say, "Well, buddy, this is the most dangerous thing I've
Yeah.
ever seen. I've been in the force for 40 years, and this is a danger unlike any I've ever known.
yeah, unlike anybody can have them.
Anybody can have them." And that's what's funny. Like, that's what it comes down to every time.
Yeah.
If you break it down is, oh, well,
Who's anybody?
yeah, what do you mean by that?
Yeah.
It really comes down to, well, we don't really want the poors to have them. And it's like,
That's right.
and it's like, okay, well, mentioning the America thing, it's like, well, that makes me want to help the poors print more guns. That makes me
That's
want
right.
everyone to be able to have access to these guns. But
If you thought a high point was cheap before,
oh yeah, And that's another aspect too that gun control groups are kind of leaning toward now is the parts kit. Some have
Yeah.
really been called out, every gun part and things like that. And the one, and I say
No,
good,
that's probably our own fault too.
yeah, it
You
is.
know.
It's hard to balance that as far as saying like it is important and very cool, but at the
Yeah.
same time, it's very easy for them to target.
Yeah. Yeah, we. I think probably our community. Myself. I'm sure I'm guilty of it too. Like letting that cat out of the bag too. Like, yeah. By the way, all those guns that you're buying back are going to a place that cuts them up and then gives us all their parts for $50, and then we
Yeah,
make new guns out of them. So please keep your guns doing buyback. That gives us more kits.
it is, and I kind of hope cops hold that line as far as their whole thing is, oh, we need the money for the budget, we need
Uh,
the revenue from that, and it's like, okay, fine, I guess, but maybe just stop taking them from people.
right.
Or like, here's the thing though, it is a little different. Obviously, like I love the river recoveries. You find a gun in
Yeah.
a river, and then the parts kit, or it has the evidence number on it, but it's like at
They had
this,
some rusty ones on there this week, buddy.
did they?
Yeah, because we're all trying to print XDs, right?
Mm-hmm.
There was I don't remember if it was a XDS or a full size, but I mean, it was like it looked like it been pulled out of the ocean, man. It was rust, just solid
that's
rust.
that's awesome. That's awesome. But essentially, and our community is great about this. Cops are the ones who take guns. Cops are the ones who we have some friends in jail right now for 3D
Yeah,
printing guns. Eh, Cops are the ones who put them there. Cops are the ones working with ATF. That's who's going to take your guns if you ever think someone's going to come take your guns. Um, and so I think they're probably every year, but number one on the naughty list is cops for sure. You know who's not on the naughty list? You know who should have been number one on the nice list?
yeah,
Our friend Control Pew. ControlPew.com. I love ControlPew.com. They have tons of cool merit badges. You can get a badge, put it on your hat. Great little talking piece as far as a little hint of color to kind of signal to people who do print guns, or to get someone new interested in them. Oh, why is that gun blue, or why is that gun purple?
and at
Um,
least go for the guide.
yes, the Control Pew Getting Started guide, absolutely free. It's so
Yeah,
easy to use. It tells you about printers. If you don't understand filament, if you don't understand slicers, uh, if you don't understand, literally, if you're starting from square one, if someone says, I don't know anything about 3D printing guns, or even if you just want a refresher, honestly, you're like, hey, I just haven't looked into slicers in a little bit, or I haven't
yeah,
really looked into new filaments. And following these people online are so important and things of that nature. Control Pew, anytime something new releases, he adds it to
yeah.
the
It's
release
not just
calendar.
under threes anymore,
No, it's not. It's absolutely not. And so, and he's mentioned he's going to be
but you can
updating.
still do it
You
with the
can.
guide.
You absolutely can. I am confident in saying if the average person who isn't really like tech person or anything like that, I'm confident in saying you could get an Ender 3, follow the guide, and you can print a gun. A hundred
Yeah, you
percent.
know who I think goes number two on that, along with Control Pew. I think our new up and comer from last week's podcast, right?
Oh, Gun Cat Index,
Ed Cat
absolutely.
Index is amazing,
The Shitinator actually is number one on the nice list. You're
man,
right.
amazing.
Very good. We talked about it with him, but you can speak to this as well. How bad did Odyssey Search used to be? It
Man,
was
ooh,
painful,
yeah,
painful.
yeah, it was really rough. Even when you knew like what a model was called, you couldn't search it up.
No, definitely.
Just terrible.
You could.
I don't know how he programmed his little robot army to scrape that Odyssey, but boy, is it good.
I think it's just magic. I think it is
Yeah,
magic, right? Like there's no other explanation.
wizardry.
I talked about it with him for a long time. We even talked after. I still understood.
There were sounds and of words that you recognized.
Yeah, but that's it. Like that's
Yep.
it. Uh, So I love the gun cat index. Like, highly recommend if you want to go search for gun. We're about to run through the releases of the year. It was simple as
Yeah.
pulling it up. Gun cat index. I've got it on my phone in front of me. I've got the catalog, BLC, pulled up a few others. It took seconds.
Nice.
We're talking about seconds. You said, like, you could search the exact thing. You're not joking. The literal word for word exact thing, type it in and it would not come up.
Yeah. Wild.
It was absurd. Even with tags helped some, but it's so much better now.
Yeah.
Um,
The thing that I love most about the gun cat index, though, is this. And, you see it on Twitter all the time. I guess I kind of like my original social media kind of plant was Facebook. And, you see it on Facebook all the time. Hi, I just bought a printer. Like, where can I get files? And people are just like, oh my God, read all of the other posts first, right? But now you can just say, hey, go to Gun Cat Index, like, search any term that you want, man. Like, oh, I want to do a 1022. Well, go to the Gun Cat Index and doom scroll till your heart's content. There's 1,000 files out
no,
there.
definitely. You can search. They have a 22 tag. You can search it to a 22 tag if you're like, oh, I want a 22 something. I don't know if I want to. Like, it is infinitely.
Yeah.
You can search. I'm confident anyone can find a file that they want to print on there. It seriously is so much better. I can't stress it enough. They rock, and that's why I wanted to have them on. I want to have Shadana on next season as well. Seriously is so helpful to the community, and you're right. A great nice list mention. Perfect nice
And
list mention.
they got the forums now too, so you can go there and interact with people who've been around a while, and
Definitely.
devs, and people who have answers to your questions that you couldn't get elsewhere. So,
Absolutely, especially now that FOSCAD got nuked again.
yeah.
And also,
Reddit's not friendly anymore, kids.
It isn't. And also, the Discover feature on GunCat Index is great. You can see what birthdays are. Like, hey, this gun's 4 years old, and it's like, wow, that's awesome. Time flies. You remember it coming out, and it builds so much. You see what's popular this week, what people are downloading.
Yeah, I love the new downloads when you open up the thing, and it's just like, this is everything that's been downloaded recently right on the homepage. So
it's awesome. It's awesome. And Control Pew, another supporter of the GunCat Index. If you actually go to the index, you'll see these cool little. I might as well pull it up here. I had it on my phone, but you'll see it's awesome. These cool little stickers say this is a verified release. Happy birthday to the Hoffman stock system.
yeah,
Unique this week, unique this month, popular. So cool. His code's down here at Control Pew. Use code INDEX or use code LEMONADE, Lemon AID. And the same at Math. Use code INDEX or code Lemon Snow Cone. They have these things, tons of kits, but they have these awesome Garand stocks here. These Blim Garand stocks. I tell you what, plastic wouldn't look like this. This is that real wood, boy. That real wood. Mm-hmm. This is what good guns used to look like. That's what I'm talking about.
Everyone who makes 3D printed wood filament look like actual wood stocks is also on the nice list.
Oh yes, that's been great. We'll add innovators to the nice list.
Yeah. Shout out Dobby.
Yes.
With his ABS wood ABS stuff, man.
It looks absurd. It looks crazy. And there's this awesome aspect where if no one's seen it, the grain, like the layer lines of the filament almost lend itself to like a wood like texture, you know what I mean?
Neat.
It's so cool. It looks awesome. I absolutely love it. I've got some stains setting around here somewhere. I've got to do that at some point. It looks awesome. It's so cool.
Yeah.
Because wood filament, for those that don't know, is pretty much impossible. It's super brittle. It ends up as just you can crumble it essentially.
Yeah, it cannot be.
No, not at all.
It can be bad, real bad.
Impossibly hard to print as well. Like it fucks up your tubes. this is so easy. Like,
Yeah.
legitimately, like, you print it and it's like a few steps of post treatment, post processing. That's it.
Yeah.
And I highly suggest it. All the wood guys, all the wood, we love your wood. We love the
We
wood.
love wood.
We love it. It seriously looks so cool. And it is such a funny juxtaposition, a funny play on, oh, I made this in
Yeah.
plastic and made it look like wood. It's,
And
it's,
my receiver's pink.
and my, yeah, and my receivers, exactly. It's so fun. It's so fun. Um, End of the year, kind of going over the releases for the last year. I'll just kind of read through them, and you can kind of like, we can kind of talk about just each a little. There's a lot, so I don't want to like go too far down into any of them. But first, we'll start with some BLC here. We've got the Bison, the circular mag, back in
Yeah.
March. Super fun. Do you like the circular mag?
So I do like it. um, I have a local friend that has, he purchased one. It's not 3D printed, so I do have a friend that has a couple Bison guns set up. It's fun. It's a fun toy. Other than that, there's real no purpose for it, but it's neat. It's very cool.
It is, and that's good enough reason. But you're
Yeah,
absolutely
I mean
right.
that's the only reason you need it. That's why we do things.
Absolutely, absolutely. Some Striker Fire Harlots, cool.
I wish it worked better on more AK platforms though, because they're very kind of finicky with the mag release, the mag catch
Oh yeah,
and the trunnion and stuff. So
as
I
far
think,
as reliability goes, it's not like
yeah,
it's not like cross compatible or anything like that. It's not very.
because I think the BLC one still only works on one model, right? One brand's model,
I
I
believe
think.
so. Correct. Yes.
Yeah, so
And you also have
that,
this problem where with AKs in general, like a lot of times it's just hammer, like you
right.
can hammer stuff in, but we're talking about parts that are made in thousands of different factories across
Yeah, yeah. So
countries and continents for sure. Striker Fire Harlots, fun. Some testing devices here. The Marsupial MK18, very
yeah,
cool,
that's a neat one too. Yep.
very cool looking gun. Definitely go check that out. The UBPWA 2000. Really, this looking back on it, really interesting year for chassis, right? As far as uh, getting things that look unconventional, like super cool. The WA 2022, we've got like a Wasser looking 1022 here. You mentioned a 1022
Yeah,
earlier. Um, the Modelo Polytactico, super
I
cool
do like the
little,
Modelo. Yeah,
super cool little, completely DIY. Um, the Volks Stubgawar AR-15, the Bolt Action AR-15, uh, very cool. The Warden 308. The SMP 40, got her cheese worked on that. Looks so cool.
yeah.
Um, Highly recommend, and you guys go follow Gutter Cheese if you don't. He puts out a ton of promo images for basically. I feel like he has printers running 24/7, multiple printers. He's always making something that's super cool.
I mean, I'm less impressed by his printing than his just absolute amazing like paint jobs and
Oh,
like his aesthetics and
so true.
color
His
combinations. Like, I mean,
When he chooses a theme and like goes with it, it's so like it
yeah,
it's perfect. Like I use so many of his guns for when I'm doing like propaganda and promotional stuff for the
straight up
catalog
inspiration. Yep.
because it's so good. It's so good. The Tiny 11 from BLC and the SMP 41 as well. We've got a wood looking grain on this one. Super cool. Shout out BLC. Another successful year. I know they've got a bunch of stuff coming.
Yeah,
Um,
what's their little 380 thing that they got
the
going
the
on?
Decker 380.
The Decker, that's right. I
Yeah,
can remember the
it
name.
started out as the upper decker from Lafitte 1812 on
Yeah,
Reddit. Gage contacted him. They started working, did some beta testing and things like that. A bunch of cool people in there. Miami for quad. Um,
yeah.
a couple other guys that have made complete guide video guides.
I think
Uh,
that's going to be on my 2026 list too.
100%, because the Decker 9, I am confident, will be out in 2026. So we'll have a 9
Yeah.
millimeter version. A lot of people have been asking for that and why it wasn't first. One, 380 is easier. Two, 380 is
Yeah.
much more accessible in other countries, like around the world.
That's true.
380 is more functional than places where 9 mil is just not
Yeah. I got a bunch of
accessible.
380 sitting around here doing nothing too, so I
There
need
you
to kind of
go.
shoot it. Yeah.
And they have an FRT option. They
Oh
have,
goodness
oh
gracious!
yeah,
There we go.
the top load mag. Highly recommend.
Dude, small caliber sub guns are great. I mean, one of my favorites by far is the little VZ61 Scorpion.
Oh,
32 ACP and little teeny gun like that. I mean, it's just so cute little bullets and
and talk about great guns to get people interested in 3D printing.
yeah,
The baby gun is so cute. Like
yeah,
you can't get cuter than that. Going to the Gadlog here, the Apple Fritter, the pump action, super fun. The 3DSS, another one people snapped on the wood grade on, looks super cool. And the 9 mil PCCs are really actually, I feel like, gaining popularity. Here in America,
yeah.
the 9 mils everywhere. Like you can get
Right.
it at Academy, you can get it at Bass Pro, wherever. It's
Yeah.
everywhere. The regular 1022 from friends of the podcast, Yeezy and Internet Pizza, just a regular. It is what it is. A regular
Yep.
1022.
Somebody had to finally do it.
I know they did. We literally bugged Pizza until he did. We were all like, "Hey, hey," and he's like, "Fine, stop."
I just want a regular one.
The Pocket Pleaser, very cool. Another tiny gun, the 380
Yeah.
ACP, very cool. The Dissident, proprietary
The
bolt,
Dissident.
but looks awesome. It looks futuristic.
Yeah.
It is
Shout out my guy NPR Tech.
absolutely, shout out
Man.
NPR Tech, very cool. It looks so. I want to find the
Professional.
professional. Yes, it
Yeah.
it almost looks industry, right? As
Yeah.
far as this is something that would come out of the gun industry. This
Yeah.
looks like it's the complete package. Very cool. We talked about dyeing and the Triton 9, one of the best dye jobs
Yeah.
ever. The Baja Blast from DB,
Yeah.
so cool. Again, 9 millimeter, just the PCC, so cool. That's one of the ones. The first ones, my buddy actually saw a picture of it and sent it to me and was like, Mountain Dew gun, and it's like, yeah, brother, hell yeah, Mountain Dew gun. It's so cool. Another Czar, the V3. The Kung Pao 33. Prince in the Revolution, Uber Clay, put in a ton of work testing a ton of different models from China, from Russia, variations of the Tokarev. So cool. So fun to just make and make a gun that not many people are making, and parts kits are relatively cheap.
Right.
The Ubar 3, the final version of the Ubar, assumedly.
The final.
The final asterisk. It's so strong now. I've still got people with regular, I say regular, original U-bars that are going thousands of rounds in. I still recommend either this or the Hoffman if you're interested in an AR-15. This or the Hoffman, you won't go wrong. There's room for error. It's
Yep.
Even though it's big scary AR-15, it's not that hard. It's really it's Legos. You put it together. The hardest part for a first timer, I'd say, is maybe the trigger.
They really don't. AR-15s don't blow up either unless you put the wrong ammo in them.
That's the only thing.
Right.
So don't mix ammos. No 300 blackout in there.
Don't put any big bullets in your little gun.
No, exactly. The semi bipoly. We got the bipoly AR-15, AR-9, AR-10, huge pack. And the NFA version for people that like to use the third hole. If you like the third hole, like you mentioned earlier,
Yeah, we got a lot of SOTs in our community too. So
a ton of SOTs. And also, if you think, hey, I want to do this as like a potential long-term thing, I would suggest you look into it. It's not as cost prohibitive as people think.
Yeah, it's not really that expensive. Lots of paperwork.
Yeah, is it annoying? Yes.
Yeah.
But is it worth not being in a cage? Also yes.
Also,
Very
yes.
much yes. The OK Zoomer, the OK Boomer 2.0, again, Gutter Cheese and Prince of the Revolution killed it. Oh, this is one of my favorites. This is one of the ones my wife actually said, I want this gun. And I was like, wow, the Soundshock Neos. Such a fun a gun. It looks ridiculous. A Y2K style joint. I love it. I'll pull it up on the screen here. It looks absurd. Again, we love the fun looking guns, especially because it's it's a great signal spreader, and wow, just beautiful. It looks absurd. It looks absurd. Let's see here. What else we got here? Oh, the Plasticato from Mostly Peaceful Machine Shop. It looks so sick. We've had some people run competitions.
That's on my list too, for sure.
It looks awesome, doesn't it? It just looks it looks so cool. I'm gonna pull that one up too.
I have a buddy, and when we do sun cut sand orders, we always call the other guy like, anything else? So I've got Plasticato parts waiting for me, some other things. So hopefully when we get together over Christmas break, I'll get my stuff for my Plasticato.
There you go. There you go. And that's a great way to do it, buddies, right? Especially if it's like, it is more cost prohibitive, especially if you're building the same thing.
Yeah. It's hard to hit that minimum sun cut send order sometimes.
Definitely. Especially when it's like, hey, I only want to build these few things now. The wife's complaining, you got too many unfinished projects. It happens. Go in with a buddy and say, hey, well, do you want to each get a kit? We'll do this.
You know how many TX22 trips that you can, FRTs that you can get from Sun Cut Send for the minimum order?
How many is that?
It's like 200.
I loved the Sin Cut Send when everyone was like, did you see that? When everyone was like, that's a gun part. And they deleted it for the model cars.
That's right.
We have a couple of 45s here. The Phalanx 45, the M&P Shield. Great guns. I highly recommend the Shield. It's a fun little gun to shoot.
Yeah.
I love the 9, but the 45 is fun. The Mordaka, that came out again. The V2.
Yeah.
Another MP 45. And updated the Decimator. Decimal's done great work with that.
Yeah.
It's another 1022 fun little gun. Talk about a great gun to get people interested in 3D printed guns.
Yeah, he's a cool guy.
He's very cool.
Yeah.
Always
he's a local to me guy.
Oh, awesome. That's awesome. And tons of not only CAD, but printing guns, making cool stuff, making the silly, absurd stuff. Those are my favorite. We love to see it.
Yeah.
One more that came out last year but was updated this year that I really just want to shout out because, and I know it was on the nice list, but the Not a Glock, or if it wasn't added, Not a Glock.
Yeah, Not a Glock.
It's great because it looks like a Glock, and people really recognize that universally, right? Around the world, just in the past 6 months, multiple in Australia, multiple in the EU. We're talking South America, I'm sure in Asia, and so obviously America, North America. And just a very cool gun. It is a little difficult. It is higher difficulty level for sure, but you can do it and you can make it. Absolutely. Like there's no shot you can't make it. Like if you are locked in, if you're trying, you can totally make it. Highly.
The prints are not, they're easy prints.
They
really.
are. The
assembly's a little, you got to figure out what you're doing, but it's a good
definitely. Gun. And this does actually remind me of the days where paperwork was not as emphasized, right? So it is some, you're going to have to do some figuring out and tinkering, but I'm sure very fun. It added a build video. Great.
The build video is pretty good. I figured it out.
And what did you say? If you can figure it out, anyone can.
Yeah, right? I figured it out. So
you all can make it. I want to see. And
if you go through the parts list, I'll tell you about the Not a Glock. If you go through the parts list and you buy all the parts, just like right off the README, whatever. You actually have enough to make 6 guns. And
Ooh,
so then you take those parts and you split them up and you give them to 6 people that so that they can make their own. And that's what I did. So did a
that's
little,
awesome. That's
yeah, did a little
awesome.
not a Glock group buy when that one came out.
You
So
you didn't do the bandolier. You didn't do 6 Glock strapped across the chest or
I
anything.
not yet, but
how,
someday.
how much did that build up? Just so people get an idea, it's not an expensive build either. Like
No, I mean I think if you split it out, it would probably be $20, maybe.
it's seriously not expensive, and a lot of
Yeah,
like aside from like parts kits that are expensive, 3D printed guns isn't prohibitively like
no.
expensive either. It can cost as much as you want it to
And
cost.
I think Printed 22 has not a Glock kits still, doesn't he,
I
on his
think so.
website?
Let's take a look.
They're pretty inexpensive too. So I mean, and that's you don't have to do any thinking, and your barrel liner's already chambered. So that's something too.
Oh, parts kit's coming soon. But again, the list is here. It's not a crazy long list
Yeah,
at all. Very simple stuff.
he's probably just out of them for the holiday season.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But go check out Printed 22 too. Tons of kits. Like if you really don't want to say, "Hey, I don't want to source all this," you don't have to. Like you can spend as much time as you want to, right? If you want to go
Yeah,
through every individually thing, you can make it as cheap as you want to. But if you just want to say, "Fuck it, I'm gonna order the kit," totally do that. Ordering kits and ordering hardware from people in the community supports people in the community, and
yeah,
it's so awesome. It's
yeah.
so awesome.
It supports not only them usually with a little bit of side cash, but they also usually in turn donate back to devs who get to buy parts kits and get to buy ammo for testing, and you know keeps our whole little machine moving forward at the pace that it has been. So
Definitely, and it's also a satisfaction thing as far as when a dev knows you're printing a gun or you see and you I just want to stress to you all, StayFree3DP has printed so many guns, so many
so
guns,
many.
and devs love seeing the printed guns. It fills
Yeah,
them with joy. So if you print a gun, send it to tag the dev on Twitter, tag the dev on Instagram. They would love to see it. They would love
yeah,
to see it.
yeah.
And
You always love to see something that you had a passion, to kind of put out there, and some courage too on some levels too, right? To put out there in the world, and other people are using it and critiquing it and breaking it, you know,
no,
and
definitely there is this vulnerability to saying, "Hey," even though
yeah,
it's like my quote unquote friends or testers, like, "Hey, check this out." Like,
yeah,
look at it. There is this vulnerability, and we appreciate the devs. And also, don't be. You can publish or make something. Like, don't be scared. Like, if it's shitty, will people bust your balls? Definitely, right?
yes,
But someone will like it, right? Like,
especially me.
yes, but someone will like it. Especially if it doesn't use Glock mags, Uber Poor will love it.
Yeah,
Uh, you have the Glock mag fiends.
me too. I like Glock mags in Glocks, but everywhere else, uh, you know,
I'm kind of I understand that perspective, but to me,
they're
part of
utilitarian.
yeah, and that's what I like about it as far as
Yeah,
like being able to tell someone who's not really super into guns, you put Glock mag in this. And they're like, "Oh, I know what Glock mag is." Okay.
hmm
So in that way I really appreciate its value and I value it so much because of that. But as far as
I get that.
individualistically, it's so much better to have like the random mags,
Yeah,
the it feels much more like a complete experience when it's its own total unit as opposed
yeah.
to having a Glock mag and an AR-15 trigger group.
Yeah, devs that make their own good 3D printed magazine are also on my nice list. The UMP 911 slash Sten slash DB9, that Sten mag thing that I consider it basically an original 3D printed magazine, right? There's not a magazine off the shelf that you can go buy and, you know, using that gun in that way, right? The DB9 Sten mag version is its own unique magazine, and I really appreciate that about it. I also like the Scorpion magazine too, the little 22 CZ Scorpion mags, my other favorite 3D printed magazine.
And I'll pull that up on the screen for people real quick. Another just so fun little, such a fun little mag and gun. The Scorpion, like it, there are so many things. Like I can't stress enough. If you have a slight interest, or here we got the base plate. If you have a slight interest or a affinity toward a specific gun, go make it. Go check out Gunbusters. Go find a parts
Yeah,
kit. Go play around with it. And you aren't doing it by yourself either. I want to stress you'll have devs. You'll have people printing it with you
yeah,
whose job is to break it, right? Whose job is to figure out, hey, we are going to put this through all the rigors.
yeah.
Uh,
I have not only printed a lot of guns, I have broken a lot of guns,
a lot, a
a lot
lot.
of guns.
Printed a lot of guns that
Yeah,
didn't come out looking too hot. Printed a lot of guns that it looked
yeah,
nice, and then you try and put it, it just does not come together right.
yeah. And
Um,
I'll give you a little bit of lore, like the XDS 45 story, right? That has become popular since DB kind of gave it a fresh update. Is that started well over 30 or 3 years ago, with Mr. Snow. Kind of got a parts kit, and he was kind of like, I'm gonna do this on my own, from scratch. And then he you know kind of got stuck, I guess, and moved it into like a alpha room, on Matrix. And then we kind of, that whole beta room sort of expanded out into all the XD everything. And it kind of got like the original gun kind of got lost in the shuffle, right?
mhm.
Because not everybody wanted to buy an XDS 45, and especially COVID ammo pricing, didn't want to buy 45. So it didn't get a, like, I think all the round count came from my frames. and and so yeah, I mean, it's nice to DB is definitely on my nice list for doing the XDs, man. I love the new XD 45 and little XDS that he put out. It's
DB
great.
might be permanently on the list. He might be
Yeah,
Santa low key. He puts out a lot of stuff. Does he have some elves up there working or something? He
he
does.
definitely does.
He puts out so much, and I just sent this. It'll be out
Yep.
by the time we view this. But the XTS 45 propaganda, I've got it here. Um,
Yeah.
the picture from the wife pleaser, the legend wife pleaser. So it looks so good. And he even
Yep.
made this version, DB did, that worked with this specific light on Amazon. So cool. Looks beautiful.
Yeah.
There's a blank included to texture your own in Blender. Gutter Cheese used an old LSD blotter to texture one.
Yeah.
So cool, and highly recommend people checking it out. Great mention on DB. Is there anything else you wanted to add? Anyone else you want to add to the nice or naughty list?
Hmm. I don't know. I think that's all. I think that's my whole list for now.
That's up for now. Okay, well, go
Yeah.
follow StayFree3DP. That's it. StayFree3DP on
Yeah.
Twitter. He'll be posting a ton of stuff. You can see he got a bunch of guns. He retweeted our friend MathCorp, the hitchhiker, Zona's hitchhiker
Yeah.
with the Nerf nod on it.
I love the Nerf night vision. I bought three of them accidentally.
It's so funny. It's so funny. It's sick.
Yeah.
And another great gun that's really, well, didn't come out this year, the Hitchhiker, a lot of proliferation this year as far as people making it, people making remixes.
Yeah, I
Using,
think the remix culture kind of caught on sort of midway through the year. There's been a lot of fun little things for it.
which people, we want people to do that, right? Like, we want
Yeah,
remixes to happen.
absolutely.
Like uh, we want people to put their spin on things, even if it's just a, hey, I thought this texture would be cool. If you like it, someone else might like it. And
Yeah.
that may be the first gun someone prints. You never know what like weird butterfly effect you're going to create by sharing the signal,
Yeah.
by making something. I thank you for coming on. Again, follow StayFree3DP. You'll be posting more guns, more snow peas probably at
More
some
snow
point.
peas.
At some
Yeah.
point. Thank you again for coming on, man. I very much appreciate it.
Hey, thank you for having me on. It was great talking with you, and just everybody go out there and do cool shit.
Absolutely, we love to see it, and I will see you guys next season.
Peace.